All right, Jeffrey is with us in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hey, Jeffrey, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So I'm the broker owner for a small residential real estate brokerage in St. Petersburg, Florida. We've been in business a little over a year now, but prior to that, I'd worked in a different broker's company for the better part of a decade. And I've been learning through this process, there's a pretty big skill and knowledge gap between what I needed to be successful as an operator in someone else's business and what I've needed so far to keep our company going and try to make it the best we can be. So I guess what I'm looking for from you, sir, is some wisdom on what skills should I focus on as a new business owner? I find myself dealing with things as they come up, and I don't know what I don't know. So I'm seeking wisdom on that from you.
Okay. Well, that's like, how do I run a business? That would be like a course.
Right.
I mean, my gosh, I don't know how to answer that in a single call here, but let me back up a second because I grew up in the real estate business. Mom and Daddy owned a residential company when I was growing up, and I got my license when I turned 18. I've still got that license. So love the world that you're in. I observed, and we used to talk about in our family, that sometimes what happens is somebody's a great salesperson and they get promoted to be sales manager, or they're a great salesperson and they decide, I don't want to split with a broker anymore, so they go out and open their own shop, get their own broker's license, open their own shop. And like you said, I discovered there's a different skill set between being a superstar salesperson and actually operating. But you're taking it a step further. I think you said you used to operate a brokerage for someone else?
Operate within. So no, I followed that basically exactly what you just said.
Okay.
I did really well.
Okay, so you're a great sales. Yeah, so it's like you can be a great heating and air person, but that doesn't mean you know how to run a heating and air company. It just means you know how to fix the heating and air. You could be a great real estate salesperson, but it doesn't mean you know so you move from the skill set of being a great salesperson, a great marketer, a great technician to actually operating the business. So what you're saying is that the skills aren't they're not transferable. It's a different skill set. One skill is transferable, and that's the quality of, in your case, you have quality people skills.
Right.
And that's certainly transferable. But if you don't watch, you try to sell everybody, and then the team starts to feel manipulated. So you got to be careful with that. I know, I'm a salesman. So, all right, let's back up then. So the first thing we do is do what you did, and we recognize there's this recognition phase where we say, okay, what does it take to operate a business? Well, the basic components of business, right? There's the personnel aspects, the HR aspects, in other words, the hiring and firing of the team members. There's the leadership aspect, setting the strategic business model in place. How are you going to pay the brokers that work on your team? Or how are you going to split with them? Are you, doing 100% with them paying you a flat rate? Are you, what's your split on the thing? How's your business model work? You've got accounting functions. Somebody's got to do the accounting. And how are we going to control the cash flow, the money coming in, make sure the expenses are paid, and the business is operated from a financial standpoint. Certainly marketing, and marketing is different than sales, because we're trying to put the brand of your company out there more than just the individual going and selling a house. And so
do you think there's a more efficient way to go about it than just trial or error? I think maybe a better way for me to phrase it is, when I was working in another company, if you need training or you need resources, you go to the broker. When you are the broker, you can give the training or resources to your agents for what their role is, but you have no one above you. You can go tap to say, hey,
exactly,
how did you do this boss level stuff or this broker level thing?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's, you need to come to someone like us that can show you how to do it. And get a one-on-one coach, a business coach, come to some of the events. I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? You want to come to Nashville in November and come to the Entre Master Series as my guest?
Oh, I would love that, Dave.
All right, you're coming as my guest. Let's just start there, okay? That's 5 days. When you leave, you're going to be mentally exhausted, because you're going up to a water fountain to get a drink. I'm going to turn on a freaking fire hose, okay? Because I can't answer this in one call on a podcast. There's too much going on,
right?
Because the hiring and firing lessons are 6 hours. It's like that kind of stuff. So there's, but yeah, you're right. You've got to get the skill set. You got to tap into something like someone to teach, and we teach this stuff as practitioners on operating a business. We work with small businesses of all kinds, lots of real estate companies, by the way. We coach one-on-one, and they have coaches in the real estate world, like my friend Brian Buffini or somebody like that, but they also have us coaching them on the business side of it, which is, as you are recognizing, and we are in this discussion, there's two parts to this. It's not just the real estate coaching. So, yeah, the first book I'm going to tell you to pick up is by my friend Michael Gerber. The book is called E-Myth, E-Myth. It's the entrepreneurial myth, and it's exactly what we've been talking about. The E-Myth is that because I know how to make pies doesn't mean I know how to run a pie store.
Right.
Because I'm a good chef doesn't mean I know how to run a restaurant. And his brilliant observation that changed my life 30 years ago when I read his book was that you need to learn to work on your business, not just in your business.
Right.
And that's really the discussion you and I are having, but you'll enjoy this book for that reason. And then I think what you've got to do is basically start to say, okay, here's the segments of the business that have to be addressed. Obviously, there's a small amount of accounting that needs to be done. There's a small amount of HR that needs to be done, meaning hiring, firing, and recruiting. There's a small amount, nothing's huge at this stage, but you need to touch the bases on these different things. A small amount of legal that needs to be done. You got to decide if you're going to, what the ownership entity is. Is it an LLC? What are we doing here? That kind of stuff. So you've got to get into every bit of that and the different components of business and start to address every one of them as you go along. And I think you'll be able to start to move forward. You're probably instinctively doing a lot of them. You just feel really inept because it's your first ride on this particular truck. And that's
I'm flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
I'm learning things as they become problems. I much prefer to be proactive.
Yeah, if you can get ahead of it, it changes everything. And that's working on your business instead of in it. When you're in it, you're a fireman. You put out fires all day long. When you're working on it, you've already got all the fire protection in place. There's alarms up and everything else, and the fire extinguishers are on the wall. And you just, we don't have the. And so what I did over the years was every time we learned something the hard way because we did something stupid, we said, I don't mind the pain of stupid. I just don't want to do the same stupid thing next time.
Right.
If we're going to do a stupid thing, it needs to be a new stupid thing. Right?
Right.
And so that you will learn incrementally as you go along. You can't keep from doing that, but just, don't repeat the mistakes is the thing. Figure out what you did, do an autopsy on the death of the patient and go, how'd we kill him? What happened here? What was this stupid thing we did? And, we got to figure out to not do that thing again, and that gets you there. So, honored to talk to you, sir. Your wisdom and your humility in the business that you're in is refreshing, and you're going to do really, really well. You keep that posture for the next decade, you're going to be a very wealthy man, and you're going to be running a very powerful business. Because that sense of curiosity is it's essential to being an entrepreneur, and it's a type of curiosity that has humility laced into it. And you got that in spades, man. You're ready to go. So that's why I'm giving you this ticket. This ticket's multiple thousands of dollars I'm giving you for free, but I want to invest in you. Be sure you meet me and we talk about this when you're up here. Okay.